Put your faith in the light.
Don't.
Don't what?
Don't give me hope.
Hello guys, welcome to another one of my videos. This is Lightblade. And well guys, this is going to be a really short one. I wanted to talk about a really good news for all Paladins, but it's a bit better news for Retribution Paladins. This is because, well, I will explain it in a second, but the news is this one, that in the interview with Ian Hazacostas, he said that the class that's most likely going to get a B res in Dragonflight is going to be Paladins. Yes, finally, we are going to get a B res, something that should have happened at the start of World of Warcraft, or probably like 2 or 3 expansions ago, because it just makes sense, you know. Like if you go all the way back to Warcraft 3, the Paladin hero was the only one that had a complete resurrection ability without any downside. I know the DK hero also had a resurrection ability, but this only lasted for a certain duration, and actually the people that you rezzed came back as undead units. So it's not the same as a resurrection ability. The only one back then that was a full resurrection was the Paladin ability, the ultimate. So yes, it makes more sense for, let's say, a Paladin to have a battle res than a DK. But let's say I think they gave them the resurrection ability just for gameplay reasons, whatever. Finally, we are getting a battle res, and I'm really happy about that. And now, why is it better for Retribution Paladins? Well, this is basically because Holy and Prot already bring a lot of nice stuff to the table, you know. Protection brings a bunch of interrupts with their shields and stuff. They also have really nice off heals that they can use without limiting their throughput. And Holy, being healers, they can use any utility without sacrificing basically anything. So those are the good reasons why Retribution now has another extra utility that they can use, rezzing people without actually sacrificing much utility. Basically, you're just using like a global to use your resurrection ability, which is fine. I'm okay with that. This is going to help us, especially in LFG and Mythic Plus, because, well, if a group doesn't have a battle res and they're looking for the last DPS, they may be looking at the LFG and saying, do I take a rogue, do I take a priest, or do I take a Retribution Paladin that has a battle res that can help my group succeed in this key? And that's going to bring our chances to get into a group a bit higher, you know? So that's a really good win for Red Paladins. Okay, so on other news, in this last alpha cycle, they removed one thing which is worrying, and it's also like, I'm thinking hopeful. They removed Divine Protection from the node with Shield of Vengeance, which I'm thinking this is because they're just looking a place to put it. Like they are going to put Divine Protection for Retribution Paladins, but I'm guessing they're gonna put it somewhere else, you know. And this is a good thing. If we make Shield of Vengeance stay like it is and just put Divine Protection in any other place so we can take it alongside Shield of Vengeance, this is going to be a huge win for Retribution Paladins. Shield of Vengeance is a decent defensive, you know, because it does do a big absorb, but it has a lot of weaknesses, especially when we're taking overtime damage in raids, because, well, overtime damage will just blow up the shield, and after it blows up, you're just taking the damage, you know, you're not mitigating much of it. You're still a squishy Retribution Paladin and you're going to probably die. But Divine Protection has the benefit of being really good on overtime hits effects, you know. So that's why I'm thinking that having both defensive is going to be good. I'm hoping they really put Divine Protection in this slot and just get rid of Justicar's Vengeance. I'm not going to get tired of saying this in my videos. Justicar's Vengeance is a garbage talent. Please, Blizz, just remove this thing. It's worthless. It's just another source of healing, and although it's a source of healing that does damage, I don't care. It doesn't. I'd rather sacrifice the damage and just use like a Word of Glory healing than having this thing still in the game, because it's just not worth to use, you know. It's just redundant to so much healing we already have. If you look at this side of the tree, we have Golden Path, we have Seal of Mercy, we have a lot of other healing options on this side of the tree if we want to take them, you know, let's say for PvP and other reasons, you know. Just Justicar's Vengeance is just worthless. Remove it and put their Divine Protection. I don't really care if they put it as a 2-minute cooldown, because then we can just rotate Divine Protections with Shield of Vengeances and so on, you know. If we need to absorb a big just one hit thing, we can use Shield of Vengeance. If we need to absorb overtime damage, we use Divine Protection. If we need to absorb a huge hit that would kill us, we can just combine both defensives, and we still have our bubble after that to, let's say, use it on a mechanic to immune it or something like that, you know. So that would be really good for Retribution Paladins, and that's what's changed this cycle. They also made some, they didn't change the locations of Divine Toll and Divine Resonance with Ashes to Ashes and Imperial Endowment. It's still like it was last week. They said they were going to change it, but still like it is. So, and not many things have changed. The only change that actually was made is the Justicar's Vengeance still now costs 3 Holy Power and does less damage. So I'm hopeful and a bit worried at the same time for this removal of Divine Protection on this node. They're probably going to put it in another place, which is really good. But if they just remove it, I'm going to be really sad. So also, guys, don't really worry about the trees at the moment that much. They also confirmed they're working on a complete rehaul of the general tree of Paladins. So there's going to be a lot of new good stuff on the general Paladin tree, and they're going to do some changes on the Retribution Paladin tree. They already said that. So these changes, as you see them now, are just not like set in stone. I'm hopeful they can finish it on time before like Dragonflight launches, so our class can be complete and we can play a nice or decent spec, you know. Anyways, guys, that's all the changes that happened, at least in this cycle of the alpha. If you enjoy my content and, well, like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me a ton. Thanks for watching, everyone.